Hello, ma'am. Hi, guys. How are you all? I hope that I'm totally what we say audible and all. So, yep. So, hey, everyone. So, I'm audible. I'm just looking into the chat right now, guys. How are you all? Very wish you a happy Independence Day, guys. And first of all, that's what like very happy Independence Day. And I hope that I am like very much. Today's audio is going to be like crystal clear, guys. I mean, we have got a nice microphone setup. I'm just please wish everyone happy Independence Day. They will get that
Happy
how clear the
Independence
audio
Day,
is.
everyone. Good evening, everyone. We're going to have a great session today.
Yes. So now please tell us that how the I mean like audio is. Is the audio all okay? So is the audio all okay?
Yes, guys, give us a confirmation.
Yes. Okay. So I hope that I'm like very much clear. Yes, they all are like, oh, boys, best today. Everything is fine now. So they're just like messaging up there. Their audio is clear and all. So that's it. Okay,
Okay.
ma'am, just share your screen. And okay, guys, and one more thing. Hey, how many of you yesterday done that? What is it? Description? Na? Yesterday's attendance part have you completed? For today also, your attendance part will be there. So just go ahead and complete your attendance part, which is there in that. Okay. So in the description, you are able to see that attendance one is the written there. If it's not attendance one, it is going to be attendance two also. Okay. Just go and do that thing. So it will take your attendance and complete that part. In the meantime, ma'am is sharing the link. Okay, ma'am, just share the screen, right?
Yeah.
Yes, completed, done. Okay, so I hope that every one of you have completed. Even one more thing, guys, even if you are missing out the session, someone is missing out this session and seeing it again, nothing to worry. We are all like what we say available in terms of this thing that is recording. You can see the recording, complete that recording, and that's where we will be 100% giving you the access to your examination portal. We want as many as you can people just to go and get ready in terms of this skill which is required for the future of India. So I hope that I just made it very much clear what is the full motive behind Let's Upgrade to do this all. So and that's where it matters a lot. So steps for AWS account. It was already shared yesterday, I think, and last attend the last session because my internet was not working. It is totally fine if at all your not internet was not working. So hey guys, let us shout along one small thing. Every one of you, wherever you are, wish you a very happy Independence Day. India has got its independence. It's been like 74 years right now. Next year it's gonna be 75 years, and it's gonna be a tremendous thing. Very soon, one by one year, we are progressing a lot. So just let us keep that communal and everything. We all are united, and that's the way we all need to progress a lot ahead. And even if you are missing out the live sessions, nothing to worry. Just go and complete the sessions in recording whenever you're getting time. That time complete the assignments by week 1 week time you will get for the assignment submission. Complete the assignments and submit it on time, and everything all will be set. Okay, so just do that part. And thanks. Now it is like now I will just go and I'll be just going away from this session right now. Now from now onwards, ma'am will be there. I will be there for like some amount of time, maybe 10 minutes. Then afterwards, ma'am and you guys, that's it. You're learning. You started your learning. Okay, ma'am. So over to you.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we are moving into the session. Okay. So I was just seeing over all the chat box. I mean, the comments that you've given. Please repeat the steps. Yes, I'll go through for in a fast way. So you can just have a look. And then, guys, one more piece of information: you will not be able to use RuPay credit cards. Okay, I mean RuPay debit cards. You will have to use either a Visa card or a Mastercard. Okay, so if you're using a RuPay card and then if you face any problem with creating an account, definitely this is not going to work. So just try to use a Visa or a Mastercard. Okay, and then to people who ask me the differences between AWS and Azure, the link is given there, in the description. You can just go and have a look at it. So that has a detailed description of differences between AWS, Azure, and GCP. Okay, so that is a very good video. So you can just have a look at that. Okay, and then what else is given? Yes, it some of the accounts it says 24 hours to activate, but then in a couple of hours when you go back and then you check the utilities, you will have access to it. Okay, so just make sure you go and check those resources alone. Yes, you would have to log in as a root user.
And one more thing, guys, the people who are not having credit cards or something like that, just call any one of your nearby resources people. Credit card or debit card would do. It should require only Master or a Visa card. And please make sure you're not, I mean, like, we will give you guided steps of like you're not exploding money there. It is just going to be a small usage of like things which you will be doing. It's just for the trial account, free account. Subscribe to the personal accounts. Don't subscribe to any paid accounts at all, professional accounts. Just subscribe to free accounts. And one more thing, if at all you are having AWS Educate accounts, then you can use that thing. Okay, so yeah, that's it, ma'am. So yeah, you can just
So
go
yeah,
ahead.
yesterday's assignment, I guess everybody is having an active, AWS account. If you don't have, I'll just have, go through the steps. You can make sure today we are not going to be doing any hands-on because we still have a lot of, informations to be shared. Okay, the basic understanding has to be first made. Okay, so once we are done with that, we'll be moving into lab 1 and lab 2, which is working with Windows Linux machine. I mean Windows machine as well as Linux machine. That we'll be doing in tomorrow's session. Okay, so for today's session, we'll be talking about the different deployment models, the service models, and the basics of cloud computing. Okay, so once this is what is more important. This is going to be your foundation. Okay, if you can master the concepts in this session, okay, you can definitely have a good grasp of the different utilities that you're going to be using inside your Amazon Web Services. Okay, so please stay attentive throughout the session and do not keep on, sending messages, but then just stay very attentive to the concepts that I say. And every word will have some kind of information in it. So please be attentive. And if I'm going to be talking about some use case, please stay attentive throughout the use case. Okay, so only then you will be able to understand the full concept of that particular use case, that essence. Okay, so I just want to give a quick recap of what we have done yesterday. Since the voice quality was not good, I just wanted to a quick recap. Is that fine? Okay,
Okay,
guys,
ma'am.
so
One small minute, 1 minute, ma'am. Sorry for
yeah, sure.
interrupting. I will go away from
Sure,
right
sure.
now. Guys, one more thing. There is a small rule of Let's Upgrade. 10 minutes, you need to hold on to your questions. Okay. As soon as it is 10 minutes done, we will only ask you for questions, questions, questions. That time, please blast your all questions and we will answer that. Okay. 10 minutes, pin drop silence. Then after 10 minutes, 2 minutes Q&A. Again 10 minutes. Then after 2 minutes 10 minutes again learning. Then 2 minutes again Q&A. And one more question, ma'am, which I'm seeing here like repetitively. What is the difference between boot and root user? That's what is one question. And
Okay.
people are asking AWS Educate account works, guys. AWS Educate account works. So just go ahead and do it. Okay, ma'am. So now I will go out
Okay.
of the stream. So now you can carry it forward.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Bye bye,
So
guys. I'll
this
meet you in
root
the end.
user,
Bye.
guys. Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Okay, guys. So this particular question, you were asking about the root user and IAM user. It is not I am user. It is identity and access management user. Okay. So here, this one, you are going to be logging in as a root user. Okay. I don't want anybody to log in as a IAM user. We'll be talking about this concept next week. Okay. So for now, you are going to be logging in as a root user. So at this point of time, to log into the console, just ensure that you're logging in as a root user. More informations you will get when we are talking about, IAM. Okay. Shall we get into the subject? Yes. Okay. So legacy systems and need for cloud computing. We were talking about, the legacy systems that are available now, or even before cloud computing could come into play. Okay. So we had physical storage, physical server, you had to purchase licenses, you had to purchase software, firmware, whatever it is, you're supposed to purchase it, and then you are using it inside your physical infrastructure. Okay, so now we saw what are the disadvantages of I was talking about the use case where of your Anna University web portal on the day of your results. Okay, so we discussed how you find it very difficult to add more servers all of a sudden when the traffic goes very high. Okay, so these are the disadvantages that we face when we are using a physical infrastructure. Obviously you are investing a lot on the servers, you are investing a lot on the networking. First of all, you're investing on the basic the location, the infrastructure, the building. Okay, and then you are the maintenance, the working professionals, the workforce. Okay, all these are makes your setup very expensive. The amount that you spend on all these resources makes your setup very expensive. Okay, and then keeping more traffic, so you're not very sure what your traffic could be. Okay, what is the highest peak your traffic could reach, and then you estimate something and then you invest on extra resources which is not actually needed. Okay, so all these things are the problems, and then monitoring and maintaining these servers, these resources were also a problem. And also the traffic goes on, this particular hour the traffic is very high, the next hour the traffic goes down. Okay, and then after some time again the traffic goes high. All these situations you find it very difficult to manage if you are going to be using a real time physical infrastructure. Okay, so this is when we are going to be discussing about cloud computing. Okay, so here, what is cloud? Let's go through the slide and then the previous slide. Okay, it gives you the ability or a platform. Okay, basically a platform which you cannot see. Okay, so when we discuss this, I'll be talking about where the virtual world comes in and where the physical world stays. Okay, so here it provides you with a platform. Okay, from or you are able to access a service which is somewhere in a remote location. Okay, it is not there near you. The laptop that is there near you or in front of you, okay, the mobile phone that is with you, these are physical devices. Okay, that you can feel it, you can touch it. Okay, it is there with you. Okay, so that is a physical resource, that's a physical machine. Okay, but the servers or storage or any resource that I'm going to be using inside the cloud computing platform, these are virtual resources, the resources that I'm going to be accessing using the internet. Okay, so if I'm going to be using cloud computing, okay, internet is a mandatory. Okay, you're going to be using or accessing all the resources through the internet. So internet is like the mandatory requirement for you to have access to the cloud computing platform. Okay, so you are the next point which says you are lowering the financial investment with pay as you go model. Okay, so we'll be talking a lot about this once we move into the SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS, how you pay for the services. Okay, so here you are when you are investing, when you're buying a laptop or when you're buying a computer, okay, or when you buy a mobile phone, you are investing, okay, on that particular resource. If it's going to be from an organizational point of view, if they want to set up a physical data center, okay, a data center is a place where they are going, data center is like the backbone of any IT infrastructure. Okay, so that particular company's backbone is that particular data center. Okay, if they have to set up a physical data center, so they have so many other requirements that has to be considered when they're setting up a data center. Okay, so all these things are going to be making the setup very expensive. Okay, so here when we move into cloud, any cloud provider, we were discussing so many cloud providers like AWS, Azure, GCP. Okay, so irrespective of who the cloud provider is, everybody provides you with flexible pricing model. Okay, so this particular concept of pay as you go, you will understand better when once we move with the more advanced topics. Greater accessibility, again, we were talking about putting your content in your pen drive. If you're going to be putting your content into your pen drive and then you forget to take the pen drive with you, you don't have access to the data that is there in the pen drive, but then you put the same data in your Google Cloud, okay, or in your OneDrive. Okay, you will be able to gain access to that particular data, okay, very easily. Yes or no? Yeah. Okay, so this is the advantage of cloud. Okay, you will have a better accessibility, okay, better security. Will anybody choose a platform if there is no security? Definitely not. Okay, every organization, I already told you yesterday that all the organizations, they want to have or move all their infrastructure into the cloud. So when they want to do this, if there is no security, they will definitely not go in for using the cloud platform. Okay, so it is a very secure platform. And then again, okay, so any business, they want to put in less cost, and then they want to have more profit from the investment that they have made. Okay, and your cloud computing platform provides you with optimization of capital cost. Okay, so this is a basic definition, okay, for cloud computing. Okay, cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient. You are very convenient with using the resources, on demand network access when and where you need and what you need. Okay, at this point of time, I need one server. I can have access to the server. I need a Windows server of this particular configuration. I can have access to that particular configuration. Okay, so on demand network access to a shared pool. What is the shared pool? We'll be talking this concept of shared pool when we talk about the deployment models. Okay, what is this deployment model? How you can have access to resources in the shared pool. Okay, what is the shared pool? Now the accounts, I think everybody is having AWS account now. So this particular account that you have created, it falls under the category of public cloud. Okay, so all the resources that I create, okay, so I'm sure everybody knows that you can save your content in the cloud. Okay, but cloud is not just for storage. It does provide us with many other offerings or many other services. Okay, so here we are going to be having shared resources. All the resources, your servers, your networking, whatever type of storage you use, your databases or any applications that you use. Okay, all these are going to be shared resources, complete set of shared resources. When I say shared resource, you have it's like you don't have any separate priority. Okay, if you need priority, you need to go in for a different type of deployment model. We talk about that later. Okay, so when I say shared resource, you are sharing the resource that is available. The cloud provider provides you with 100 servers. Okay, so those 100 servers can be shared by all these people who have their free trial accounts. Okay, so that is the concept of having a shared pool. Configurable computing resource. All these shared resources are configurable. Okay, so you can configure your network, you can configure your server, you can configure your storage, you can configure the applications. Every single service that is offered inside AWS is configurable. Okay, is that made clear? So this is a complete consolidated definition that explains what exactly cloud computing is. Okay, so you can very easily, okay, provision and then release. Okay, the same example where we were talking about the Anna University web portal, where they are going to be displaying the results. Okay, the same example, just have recall that example, the use case. Okay, so in that use case, when the traffic goes beyond, let's say I have 40 servers in my network. Okay, and then my traffic goes really high, more than the traffic that could be handled by these 40 servers. In that case, I can automatically, my cloud provider or the cloud computing platform can automatically add new servers into the network. Okay, so that is what the advantage of cloud computing platform is. Okay, and we'll be talking a lot about this particular feature where you would be able to automatically add new servers into the network. Okay, so that is the best or the most important advantage of using a cloud computing platform. and releasing. So this 1 hour my traffic is very high, and I'm using 10 extra servers. So automatically cloud computing platform has added 10 servers to my network. The next hour, when it goes beyond, or when it goes below the required traffic level, in that case I can automatically reduce the number of servers. That can be done very easily. Okay, so this is what is the advantage of cloud computing. Then high level abstraction, yes, you will be able to have a not whatever resource that you use, you will be able to have a high level abstraction of the different resources that you have in your cloud computing platform. Then, so what are the advantages of cloud computing? Why everybody goes in for using cloud computing? The first one, you need not guess the capacity. Okay, so the same Anna University website example. Okay, you need not be guessing what the capacity would be. Okay, what the next 1 hour, what my traffic would be, okay, to my website. Okay, so you need not be worrying about the capacity, and you need not invest on extra resources to manage that particular network. Okay, so that is how you are like able to very efficiently you are concentrating only on your application. I'm hosting my application in the internet. Okay, I'm worried about how this application works. I'm not worried about what the traffic that comes in. Okay, so I don't worry about the traffic. I'm spending more time on improvising my application, and I'm not worrying about the background features, like what if the traffic comes, if the traffic goes high, what will I do? I don't think about that. Okay, so that is the most important advantage. Increased speed and agility. Just imagine the same situation where you have to set up 20 servers. Okay, I want to set up a 20 servers, deploy my web application in these 20 servers, and then get them into the network. Okay, get them into the network and then deploy the web application on all these servers. This is definitely going to be taking at least a month work. Okay, so if I'm going to be spending 1 month on provisioning these resources, it is like it's actually occupying a lot of time. Okay, you want to reduce this time. Okay, so how do I do that? Okay, in cloud computing you are able to provision now the same thing. Okay, the same resource, a same server, these 20 servers that you have in a normal physical environment. You have these 20 servers that are added to your network automatically. Okay, so in a physical environment, you have it like you will have to spend 1 month, or you have to set up the server, set up the networking, deploy the application, I mean install all the softwares, then deploy the application and then make it running. You have to run a test. Okay, the environment provisioning has to be done. You have so much work. But at the same time, if it's going to be in the cloud, okay, you are like you can sit back and relax. Okay, so these 20 servers can be launched in no time. Okay, so that's how you'll see. Okay, so you'll see how fast you can launch a server. And then focus on business differentiators. This is what I was talking about. Uh, how much. Okay, so instead of spending your time in analyzing the basic things like worrying about what the traffic will be, how will I face this traffic, you go in for thinking about how I will be able to improvise my projects. And then variable versus capital expense, we'll be talking exclusively on this. And then go global in minutes. So when I say go global in minutes, across the world, you would be able to span in matter of minutes. You might have your database or your data center set up somewhere across the globe. Okay, so you might be in India and you have your data center somewhere, somewhere in France or Sydney or anywhere like that. Okay, so such cases also, you would be able to have access to the data that you store in different say, data centers. You would be able to span across the globe in a very short span of time. That is a very big advantage of cloud computing. Okay, and then you have we are going to be understanding the business expenses. Okay, so what is the advantage, okay, that it gives you when you're talking about from business perspective. Okay, from a business perspective. So here, let's say any organization or any business, when they launch, why they are moving into cloud? Because they believe that this particular cloud computing platform can offer them some kind of a savings, some kind of a profit. Okay, so that is the main reason they move in for cloud computing platform. So how do they achieve it? Okay, I can give you a use case here. Let's say I'm producing a particular item, maybe a gift article. Okay, maybe a particular company, it wants to give a gift, an independence day gift or whatever, okay, to its employees. If you are an individual and if you want to produce that same gift, you are going to be producing just one piece, or at least 10 piece, or 100. Okay, if it's going to be just one or 10 piece, the same work, okay, that particular production involves same amount of work that you would put in. Okay, the initial setup, okay, the molding and everything and all. Okay, so it involves the initial setup, the initial work that is done is the same, whether you do it in whether you do it for one article, or whether you do it for 1,000 and 2,000 and lakhs of articles. Okay, it doesn't make a difference. Okay, so when you do it in a large scale, you are able to have lots of benefits. Okay, so depending upon the business size. Okay, so larger businesses, they invest a lot, and then they are able to have a better benefit um, from these resources. So all these are some of the advantages. Capital expense versus operational expense. Okay, so we have first point, which says long lead times. Okay, so it takes a lot of time for you to set up the entire environment, and then provision everything, and then make it into a completely working configuration. Okay, whereas if it is going to be in your cloud, the operational expense of the services in the cloud, if it's going to be, I have written there as a pass. So whether it is PaaS or even software as a service, this is when I say PaaS, it is going to be platform as a service. We'll talk about this, don't worry. Okay, so it is very less. The amount that you invest is very less. Equipment failures, you will have to keep on continuously monitoring the health of the servers in your network, and then you would have to troubleshoot them periodically. Here you have, inside a cloud platform, you have automated health maintenance. Okay, when I say automated health maintenance, you have a health check that is running, always running. Okay, and then your problems or errors are automatically identified and corrected. Okay, so that is the concept of OPEX. And then over provisioning or wasted capacity. What is this over provisioning? I need not be worrying about what my capacity requirement after some time it will be. Okay, I need not worry about my traffic in the next 1 hour. Okay, so I don't over provision the resources. I don't invest on extra resources. I don't invest on redundant resources. That's what the problem with capital expense when you have a on premises infrastructure. But here you have the system or the cloud computing platform that provides you with a platform where you can automatically scale the resources. You can scale up when the traffic goes high, you can scale down when the traffic goes down. Okay, so that is a very important feature. Then you have electricity. The entire environment provisioning is needed if it's going to be a physical infrastructure, whereas if it's going to be a cloud infrastructure, there is no concept of physical environment provisioning, right? You don't need air conditioning, you don't need someone to clean up the environment, you don't need to rent a location. Okay, so you are actually reducing the amount or the capital cost that you invest on all these resources. Okay, so you have the, excuse me, so you have the entire set of resources, whatever you need, like servers, you need the storage, the networking components, whatever you need is there with you, but still you don't invest on the the environmental provisioning. That is not needed. Okay, then very maintenance staff is required. Yeah, obviously when you have a physical infrastructure, you will have a lot of infrastructure requirements. when you go in for discussing the cloud role, you don't have so many I mean any kind of maintenance. Okay, so again the same points like configuration errors, you can be it is completely under your control, and you are the one responsible for managing it. If it is a physical environment, if it is going to be a virtual environment, the provider will be managing it for you. Again, we'll discuss this in the service models. And then anything that you want, maybe you want to go in for using a new project. Okay, so these new projects, you would be able to you would have to think a lot about how I'm going to be setting up the entire environment, and a lot of things have to be considered before you move into choosing this project. Whereas if it's going to be cloud, you are able to provision the resources within a very short span of time, so you have a very efficient provisioning of resources. Okay, so that is possible. And then you have monitoring is also difficult. Here monitoring is very easy. And as I said, creating a free AWS account. Okay, so this is the first console page that you would get. Okay, so here click on get started for free. Okay, I guess everybody is listening to me, guys. Click on get started for free, and then you go into registering your email address, and one email address can be used only once. If you have already created an account using your email address, try it with some other email address. Okay, you would not be able to create a a free trial account with the same mail id. Is that made clear? So try to use a new mail id, and then give your password, and then give a name, account name, the root account name for that particular account, and then proceed with creating the account. Okay, it is going to be a personal account and not a company account. Everybody, please do not create a company account, and it has to be a personal account. Give your full name, no problem. Country, just whichever your country that you're residing currently, and just give that. Address, you can give anything. Okay, city, just give just fill in meager details. And then postal code, phone number, security check, all these things you can give. And then we have yeah, accept that agreement. And then here comes your credit or debit card details. I've received messages stating that you're having problems with this particular console. We are entering details about this credit and debit card. It generally happens. Okay, but then just give it some time. Maybe if you're trying it now, and then just give a gap of like 2 or 3 hours, and then try to re-enter the information for this credit or debit card. And do not try this account creation with your RuPay card. It does not work. Okay, so please use a Visa or a MasterCard. Okay, that is mandatory, without which you will not be able to create a free trial account. Okay, so and I had questions stating that why they're deducting rupees 2. That is like your account creation. Okay, so validation of your credit card details. Okay, whether you are entering a valid credit card or debit card information. Okay, so you would be definitely everybody would be debited with rupees 2. Okay, so here you would have to give all the proper credentials. In this particular page where you have the payment information, you have to give a proper information. And then you have to have pan, you can neglect, just give no. And then go ahead with the basic plan. It's not a developer plan, it's not a business plan. We are using a free trial account. Just go ahead with the basic plan. And then you get to this console. Click on complete sign up. Okay, click on complete sign up. Once you are here, okay, once you click on complete sign up, there would be two tabs. Okay, the first tab would ask for a role, and then the purpose. Okay, so one, maybe you could give you are a student, or you are practicing AWS, you want to know more, all these stuff. And then which particular domain you are interested in, whether you want to do DevOps or any other domains. You just click on that particular thing, and then proceed. Okay, automatically you will be taken to your AWS management console. Okay, so this is your AWS management console. 1 minute. One minute, guys. I'm just checking the credentials. Okay, so this is your AWS management console. Okay, if you've got this, your account creation is complete. Okay, your account creation would be complete, but then you would have to manually check if your account is active or not. Okay, make sure you check that. Okay, if you click on EC2, okay, you should have this page. That means your account is active. I'm just checking your messages, guys. Screen is not visible properly. Is it still the same? Bhargavi says it's not accepting my debit card details. Please check if you're using a RuPay card. RuPay card does not work. I think screen is not visible because there is some kind of lagging. Try to increase the pixels. Maybe 720 pixels should do. Okay, you would have better quality if you do that. If you already have an AWS account created, please go ahead and use the account. It is 1 year free trial. It's okay. Arjun Patel says, I have given my PAN card. If you've given, no problem. Okay, don't worry about that. It is not mandatory. That is what I was talking about. Everybody, please try to use a good, pixel. Maybe 720 should be good because these are little words. Very small words. If you're going to be having a pixel to be very low, then you will not be able to see the screen very clearly. Okay. What if further money? Supraja asks, what if further money are deducted? Don't worry, Supraja, you will definitely not be charged extra. Okay, I'll tell you how to take care of your resources in a way that you don't get charged. Okay, we are using a 1 year free trial account, and I'll guide you through the process. Don't worry about getting extra charged. Okay, so please create an account. Without an account, okay, so this 2 rupees is for validating your credit card or debit card information. Okay, so please make sure that you have a valid AWS account. Only then you can practice the resources. Okay, the more you practice, the more you grow. Without practice, definitely you will not get grasp of the different utilities that we're going to be talking about. I want everybody to have a valid account. Company AWS account. Prag Agarwal says he has created a company AWS account. If you created and if the account is active, just go ahead with it. But then make sure you are very careful with the resources. I think I've answered the questions. Is there any other question? Please put it down in your chat box, guys, or else we'll continue with the session. IAM user, I'll definitely explain, guys. That is a more advanced concept that we'd be talking about, in the next week's session. Okay, don't worry. So for now, you are going to be logging in as a root user. Okay, if you try to log in as a IAM user, you would not be able to log in at this point of time. So you are going to be logging in as a root user. Okay, guys. Okay, so let's continue. So we've come to the important part, which is deployment models. Okay, so in deployment models, we have different types of deployment models. Just give me a minute. It's hindering this view, so I just go back and then come again. Okay, so this is your deployment models. Okay, so here you have four different types of deployment models. Just give me a minute, guys. Okay, guys. So we have four different types of deployment models. The first one is the public cloud. Okay, then we go in for choosing a private cloud, a community cloud, and hybrid cloud. What each of these are? Okay, so public cloud. So the accounts that you have created now. Okay, everybody is having free trial account now. These account fall under the category of public cloud. Okay, so what is a private cloud? Okay, I was talking about the shared resources, right? So how you have access to these shared resources, that is what is going to make the difference between all these deployment models that I've listed here. Okay, so I have a shared resource. It could be a server, it could be a storage, it could be any resource that I use. Okay, so all these resources that I use, it is going to be shared by people across the globe. Okay, so I'm here in India and I'm creating a user account, okay, a free trial account, and there is a user who is in US who's creating a free trial account. Okay, so these resources, okay, so the servers or networking components or storage or whatever I have within my within the shared pool, okay, it has equal, or the users across the globe, they have equal privileges to access these resources. Okay, so that is a concept in public cloud. When I say private cloud, let's take ABC as an organization. Let's take Let's Upgrade as Let's Upgrade has its own private cloud. Okay, so this private cloud, Let's Upgrade's private cloud, can be utilized, can be accessed by people who belong to this community alone. Okay, anybody outside this private group cannot have access to the resources inside this private cloud. Okay, so that is the basic difference. Okay, if I have 1,000 servers inside my shared resource pool, okay, 1,000 servers, please understand, guys, if I have 1,000 servers inside my shared resource pool, I definitely can have access. If it's going to be a public cloud, I can have access to these 1,000 servers. Okay, so these 1,000 servers will be having or giving, allotting equal privileges to a user who is in India as well as to a user who is in US. It does not discriminate. If it's going to be a private cloud, the same 1,000 resources that is inside my private cloud cannot be accessed by the people who belong to the public cloud. Okay, but the resources in the public cloud can be accessed by people who belong to this particular Let's Upgrade's private cloud. Okay, but the people in the public cloud cannot have access to the resources that is inside my private cloud. If I want to have access to the resources inside my private cloud, then I definitely need to have the rights or the permissions. I have to be a member of this private cloud. Okay, only then I will have access. I guess everybody is clear with this concept of public cloud and private cloud. When we talk about community cloud, what is this community cloud? Okay, so this community cloud is maybe let's say two or more organizations. Okay, two or more organizations, they want to collaborate on a new project. Okay, any project. Okay, when I say collaborate, they want to work together. Okay, they want to work together on a particular project, and they will definitely have some kind of shared resources, the databases or any resources that they have as a shared platform. They want to have it in a that particular model where you are able to collaborate with different groups of people. Okay, so maybe group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. There are 4 different groups which is collaborating in a single project. Okay, so all these 4 groups together form a community, and they are going to be using a shared data center. Okay, so that is your community cloud. Then you have your hybrid cloud. So we already know what is a public cloud, we know what is a private cloud. When I say public cloud, the same resources are comparatively cheaper, okay, than the private cloud. Okay, if it's going to be a server, you definitely pay a little more when you are going to be using a private cloud. Okay, so any business, they want to optimize the capital investment that they make. Okay, so they want to invest less and then get more profit. Okay, so you always look for ways and means by which you can reduce the amount that you spend for the resources. Okay, so that's where your hybrid cloud infrastructure comes in. Okay, so there you are in a hybrid cloud environment. You are able to use the resources both in, or you can use a combination of both your public cloud as well as a private cloud. Okay, so maybe the more sensitive resources that I use can be hosted in my sensitive resources in private cloud, and then some kind of batch processing or payroll processing in an organization. Okay, could be moved into a public cloud. Payroll processing can be moved into a public cloud, so less sensitive workloads, or you're not worried about not very like the data that is related to your research and development, R&D, cannot be put in a private public cloud. It has to be in a private cloud. Okay, so that's what makes the difference. Okay, so here it's the content that I have already given, shared. Okay, so it's publicly accessible cloud environment, and you're going to be provisioning it using service models. We'll talk about that. Okay, and then here again, this one, the cloud provider role. When I'm talking about a private cloud, one more explicit feature of a private cloud is that, okay, so if it's a public cloud, the provider is providing you with all the resources, and you are the user or the consumer. Who's the provider? The cloud provider. If it's going to be Amazon Web Services, AWS is the provider, you are the consumer. If it's going to be a private cloud, you are the provider, you are the consumer. Okay, so you have complete control over your network, whereas in a public cloud, someone else, the provider, controls your network. Okay, so that is the difference between a private cloud and a public cloud. Okay, this is very important. So here you are the provider, you are the consumer, you are responsible for completely maintaining your environment. Okay, then hybrid cloud, yes, 2 or more different clouds can be combined. Okay, so you are trying to move all your sensitive services into your private cloud, and then less sensitive into your public cloud. And then community cloud, jointly owned by community members. Again, just because you are putting your data inside the community cloud, it doesn't mean that everybody can have access to group 1, group A, group B, group B, I mean C and D. So you have 4 groups. It doesn't mean group A, when group A puts some data into this particular data center, okay, it doesn't explicitly mean that C, D or B, C, D can have complete access over the data. No, group A has complete control over deciding and allotting the preferences or privileges for each of the user in the group. Okay, you have complete control. So that is how privileges are assigned or granting access to the resources inside your groups or the community cloud. I guess everybody is clear with those deployment models. Very important concept, guys. I'm just checking your chat boxes, guys. you would be okay. So if it's going to be provisioning very short amount of resources, it might not make much sense. But then if you're going to be provisioning a lot of resources, then it definitely makes sense to go. I mean, the difference between not just the price, but then the security levels. Okay, if it's going to be in the public cloud, you don't have complete control over the entire environment. If it's in a private cloud, you have control. Even the IP range that you choose for your network is under your control. Okay, so the security is like multi-layered security if you use a private cloud. That is also a difference between, it's not just the pricing, but then there are so many other things that differentiates the private and the public cloud. What about Mac users? I'm not able to get this question. Sai Sonal, please reframe your question. I would like to answer it. Root a user account open, fine. What is the meaning of that attendance form? People, if you want to this is a certification course, and if you want to get a certificate, you would have to fill that attendance form for every session that you attend, and then you would have to submit all your assignments and then the projects that are allotted. Only then you will have your certification delivered. Okay, so that's the concept of admission forms here. Sorry, attendance forms. You Even if you have filled even if you have not filled it, you can just try to fill it today. Not an issue. Okay, that is available. The link is there in the description box. You can fill it. Payroll processing is your payroll, how they process the payroll inside the company, guys. So this is like, it's not it's an information where huge amount of processing is done, and then it is not very significant. Okay, it can be moved into a they just need a compute space. Okay, so it's a huge workload which needs lots of processing or the computing capacity, so we can move it into a public cloud. And it is not necessarily or it is not mandatory for us to move a payroll processing into a private cloud. It is not such a sensitive information. Yeah. What is the difference between community and hybrid cloud? See, a community cloud, again, community cloud is completely like a private cloud. It's not a public cloud. Okay, when I say private cloud, a very good question, guys. See, a private cloud is something where only the people, if it's LetsUpgrade's private cloud, only the people who belong to this particular private cloud can have access to this particular, the resources within this particular cloud. Okay, whereas if it's a community cloud, you have group A, B, C, and D. Again, this is a private cloud that belongs to people from these four groups. Okay, so hybrid cloud is different. It's a combination of public and private. Okay, so you should have a clarity between the four. Okay, public cloud, that is separate. A whole lot of public cloud, the root user accounts, the free trial accounts that you create. Then you have your private cloud, where it is a complete private entity, more security, and more there is no dependency between the provider and yourself. And then you go on for using a community cloud, where it belongs to a group of people. And then your hybrid cloud, a combination of both. Ganesh, how does it show you, amount will be deducted? No, or no, Ganesh, you would not be getting that message. I guess everybody is clear with all the models now, the deployment models. Please, you can this video, it will be available as a recording once this live session is over. You can always come back and have a look at it. Okay, guys, so we're moving into the service models. So we have three different types of service models. Okay, one is infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Okay, so when I talk about infrastructure as a service, okay, so you are responsible as a consumer, you are responsible for most of the application layers, or most of the layers in the it could be anything like. So from this diagram you can see that virtualization, server, storage, networking, which falls under the category of virtual resources. Okay, virtual networking components, virtual server, virtual storage components. Okay, all these are provided to you by the provider. As a consumer, you are having the responsibility of preparing the platform. When I say platform, it is the operating system. And then you are responsible for setting up the entire runtime environment or the middleware for communication, and then hosting your application. So the a major part is under your control. Okay, when or what are the basic characteristics of infrastructure as a service? So you have the resources, the original, the virtual resources are available to you as a service. And then a cost, again, whatever you use, you pay for it. Okay, so if you're going to be using the server, you pay for the server. If you use this much amount of storage, you pay for it. Okay, and then again we have this particular concept of scalability. That's what the main advantage of cloud computing is, right? Or scaling, you scale up the resources or scale down the resources automatically when there is a need. Okay, and then it provides you complete control, because most of the stacks are under your control. Okay, and it is dynamic and flexible. Yeah, you would be able to add more layers. Whatever you want, you would be able to add it in the top of the stack. Okay, so when I'm going to be a small startup company, okay, and I want to optimize the hardware cost, then I go in for using my infrastructure as a service. If it's a large organization, okay, so again, they want to have a complete control over the R&D. Okay, the research and development areas, and they don't want to they want to have a more secured environment, then they go in for using a infrastructure as a service, because they would have a control over most of the layers. Okay, they're just going to be getting the virtual resources from the provider, and everything else is going to be managed by them. Okay, and if you are a rapidly growing company, okay, so maybe today you are a small scale business and tomorrow you might become a medium business. Okay, so in that case you are continuously growing, and you need not worry about what if my company grows to this extent. Everything is served by a cloud provider, right? You need not worry about what your growth would be. Okay, in that case you can go on for using your infrastructure as a service, the same thing. Okay, so these are the advantages: flexible, scalable, okay, automated deployment of all the resources, storage or networking, servers, processing power, all these are automatically deployed into the network. Okay, and you I mean the client has a complete control of the top layers like application or the platform. And then if it's going to be the virtual hardware resources, it is completely under the control of the the provider. The platform as a service. So in platform as a service, you have the platform that is provided to you by the provider. Okay, so you have the operating system, okay, the environment on which you're going to be running your application, that is provided to you in hand. Okay, so that is a concept of platform as a service. Okay, so infrastructure as a service is like they provide you with all the resources, and then you would have to set up your own environment, and then you would have to deploy your application on that. Platform as a service is like you are provided with the platform. Okay, and then you can just deploy your application on the platform. Here a better example would be let's say I have this particular concept is called elastic beanstalk. Okay, that we'll be talking about this in the more advanced sections. But this one is called a platform as a service, where elastic beanstalk provides you with a platform where you can deploy your code, and then you would be able to build applications in the cloud. Okay, so that is the concept. You are provided, the cloud provider provides you with a platform where you can deploy the application. Okay, so maybe I'm a company which has very good workforce of developers. Okay, so my developers have a very high efficient knowledge of all the programming languages. Okay, for my company, I want to host my applications in the cloud, but my developers are not comfortable with the cloud computing environment, but they are very efficient in coding. Okay, in that case, my developers would be able to deploy their code. Okay, they can develop the code, they can deploy the code in the platform that is provided by the cloud provider. Okay, and once they deploy this code in this platform, okay, they would be able to host their application in the cloud. Okay, so that is the platform as a service. You are provided at the platform where you can build your own application. I guess everybody is clear with this. Yes. So you have, whatever I've described now is here in this slide. Okay, scalable, highly available. These are, the advantages. And whenever it is like very easy to accommodate multiple developers. When you are when too many people are working, also you'd be able to accommodate them very easily in your platform as a service applications, and you would be able to, though you are provided with the platform, you can build your customized applications, because applications is completely under your control. It's just that you are provided with the platform from the provider. You are able to easily develop and deploy an app in the cloud. Okay, so even without much knowledge about the cloud, you are able to deploy with the workforce that is good in development. You are able to deploy your applications in the cloud. So that is the advantage of using platform as a service. Okay, then we have these are the different examples. You have Elastic Beanstalk, Azure. That's a older version. Okay, Google App Engine. All these are different examples for platform as a service. Then we have software as a service. So this software as a service is like you get the end application from the provider. What is this end application from the provider? Now let's say I have a banking customer. Okay, so the banking professionals, they would be from a background like accounting or a commerce background. Okay, so you might not be, if you're going to be training the entire workforce on what is a server, what is a storage, what is a networking, what is an application that they are using. At the end of the day, they're just going to be using the console that you provide. Okay, so you need not be spending, if you're going to be training them on what is server, storage, networking, middleware application, it is going to be taking a lot of time. Okay, at the end of the day, they need to know how to navigate through the console. They should know how to create an account for a user. They should know how to check a balance of a particular user. If a particular user wants to create an FD, how do they do that? So they just have to know the different options that are available to navigate through that particular application. So you can you can train your workforce on navigating or using that application. Okay, so in such a case, you get the final application. Okay, the final end product. You get the final end product from your provider. Your provider is going to provide you with the end product. You are just a user. You use the end product. Okay, so that's like a complete a product, a complete final product is delivered to you by the provider. That's your software as a service. Again, this is going to be managed completely. Okay, so in all these models, whatever the provider provides you with, they are the one responsible for managing it as well. Okay, if the provider provides you with the virtual resources alone, they will be the one responsible for managing it as well. If the provider provides you with the platform, they are the ones responsible for managing it and troubleshooting if there is any problem inside the platform. Similarly, with the software, the entire application is under their control, and they are going to be managing the entire stack. Okay, so these are different use cases for software as a service. If you're a small startup company, okay, you want to launch your e-commerce quickly, then you can go in for using SaaS for short-term projects. And then for when you want to have a particular software deployed or software provided to you, or different web and mobile web access applications, all these things you can use it using, get it using software as a service. And these are different Examples of software as a service. You have Dropbox, Salesforce, all these are applications, okay, which are offered to you as software as a service. So now we are going into Amazon Web Services. So before that, just let me check your chat box if there is any doubts. It does not take 24 hours to get activated. Just stay calm for like a couple of hours, and then your account would be active. I'm having lots of messages, guys. Mm. Yes, AWS provides you with pay as you go. You pay for what you use. Today we will not have any assignments, guys. You can just go in and fill up your Kahoot questions. Okay, so quiz alone you can attend. Okay, yesterday I guess everybody attended your Kahoot, and then you had some attendance form filling. I guess everybody has done that. So for today you don't have any assignment. Tomorrow you will have two lab. Okay. Okay, the timings for this course is 5 to 6:30. Today alone, since it was not informed before, tomorrow it would be 5 to 7. Okay. 5 o'clock will start, 7 o'clock will be ending. And again, next week, we'll confirm if we have a class on Friday or not. But then Saturday and Sunday, again, it will be 5 to 7. Okay. What is the difference between platform as a service and infrastructure as a service? So platform as a service is one in which you are provided with the platform, okay, not just the virtual resources. Okay, so the best example is your elastic beanstalk. We are provided with the platform. You cannot choose the platform there. Okay, so you're provided with the platform. You cannot alter the platform. Okay, alterations to the platform cannot be done if you're going to be choosing a platform as a service, because the provider will provide you with a platform, and then you are going to be working on the platform that is provided. Whereas in infrastructure as a service, it is completely under your control. You can actually change the configurations of the platform. Okay, are the assignments and labs OS dependent? So if you're having a Windows machine, this should be working fine. Mm, because if you're going to be launching the virtual machines, you might face some difficulties with the underlying platform. Any configuration of Windows machine should be fine. Yeah, platform as a service, that's what I said. It's you are provided with a platform on which you can deploy your application. Again, we'll be discussing about elastic beanstalk. You can understand better when we do that. What are data centers? Yes, that's what we're coming into now. Okay, so we are moving into describing or analyzing the concept of data centers. Practicals, that's your hands-on sessions, will be starting tomorrow, guys, because we still have I'm planning to complete the theory today. Free trial, you will not get charged. Kahoot link is available in the description. You can just go to that link, fill up your questionnaire. Two weeks course, guys. So this weekend as well as next weekend. Too many questions, guys. I'll definitely answer them. Please post your questions. Any further questions, please post it in Let's Upgrade community, and I'll definitely answer your questions. Assignments, no assignments for today. Kahoot is a platform where you can take your test. I guess everybody is aware of this test, okay, that you would have to take if you want to get certified. Okay, so you would have all the quizzes there. So you would have to go and answer those quizzes. Then you will get your mark sheets. Okay, guys. Okay, so now we are moving into the Amazon Web Services. Okay, so here there are concepts like which you need to know, which are called regions and availability zones. What is this region? We are talking about data centers, right? I already told you. Please listen, guys. Very important. Please stop messaging. I don't want anybody to send any more messages here. Please concentrate on the session. Okay, so here you are going to be having we were talking about data centers, right? So these data centers are places which manages all the resources. Now the entire batch that is attending this class, now you've created an account, right? All these accounts has to be somewhere managed by someone. Okay, so this particular somewhere someone, they have the data center, okay, to manage all the accounts, all the resources in your account. Okay, every account that you create will have loads and loads of resources associated with it. Someone should be managing it, and that particular place where they are managing all these resources that belongs to different users across the globe, okay, those places are called the data centers. Okay, so these data centers belong to, if you're using Amazon Web Services, it belongs to AWS. If you're using Azure, it belongs to Azure, I mean Microsoft. Okay, so similarly every provider will have their own data center. I guess everybody is clear with the concept of data center, a place where you are going to centralize or centrally manage all the resources within that particular area. For now, just have it as area. When I talk about region, what are these regions? Can you see all these dots, rounds here? Okay, so these are regions. Okay, these are the regions for Amazon Web Services across the globe. Okay, so there are regions in India, there are regions in Europe, there are regions in America. Okay, there are regions across the world. Okay, so regions are places where you have data centers. Okay, so a collection, availability zones are places where you have access to these resources. How do I say that? So every available, let's come from the inner circle. Okay, you have data centers. Two or three data centers can be inside an availability zone. Two or three availability zones together, it makes up a region. Okay, so you can have any number of data centers within availability zones. Two to four availability zones together constitute a region, and this particular region is mandatorily placed in a location which is out of a disaster zone. Okay, because data centers are very sensitive infrastructure that is built. Okay, so you don't want them to be destroyed by natural calamities like earthquake or any disasters. Okay, so that is the reason you ensure that it is built in a very safe zone. Okay, so I guess everybody is clear with this concept of region, availability zone, and this data center. You have data centers in different regions, I mean different places. Okay, so two or more data centers together forms an availability zone, and two to four availability zones can be accommodated within a region. And in AWS, you have 24 launched regions across the globe and three announced regions. When I say announced regions, the regions that are coming up. Okay, so soon they will have availability zones with data centers inside that, regions which are going to become functional. Okay, so fully functional data centers or regions are available in 24 different regions across the globe, and a total of 77 availability zones across the globe. I guess everybody is clear with this. And in India, we have Mumbai region with two availability zones. So this is the one that we are using, guys. 12 months free trial access to the resources. Okay, so you're going to be following my instructions, and then you will use the resources. I'll make sure you don't get charged. So these are the different domains that are available in AWS. Okay, so here we have the first domain is your compute domain. Second domain is your storage domain. We'll be talking about compute domain and storage domain in tomorrow's class. Okay, so your compute domain will have the different what are the different compute resources that you're going to use. Okay, the purpose or the processing. Okay, the compute resource, when I say compute, you are processing something. You are when you have a workload and you want to establish this workload. Okay, so how do you access that? These are servers. as simple as that. Okay, we'll be talking a lot about all these, each of these services. So for now, you can this is for you to get a glimpse of what exactly the different services that are offered by Amazon Web Services. So you have compute services, storage services. What are the different? It could be a block storage or an object level storage. Okay, whether you want to store it for a very long time. Okay, all these things, you have different tiers storage services that are available. And then database services, we have different things like NoSQL database, SQL database, data warehousing services. All these will come under this category of database services. And then we move into security services. Now everybody has asked me a question: what is this identity and access management? We're going to be learning about this identity and access management in this particular concept called security services. Okay, and then we move into networking services, where you will be talking about a lot about private cloud, direct connect, and route 53, all these applications. And then your application services, will be talking about simple notification service, queuing service, and email service. And then we have the managed services like CloudWatch monitoring, cloud formation, command line interface service, and then your trusted advisor. All these services will be discussed in detail. Okay, so for this week, for tomorrow's session, we'll be talking about compute service as well as storage service. So compute service, will be doing 2 labs, and then we'll be talking a lot about storage service. So tomorrow we'll be completing 2 labs, and next week we'll be completing lab 3 and lab 4. Okay, so all the remaining services will be covered in the next week. Is that made clear, guys? Again, I'm just checking the chat box. So it's time for your questions, guys. How to change my registered mobile number on LetsUpgrade? Yes, so you've got a link there, so please join that link. No, you would not need any programming. Supraja has asked me a question: do we need any programming language to do your projects and assignments? See, the projects and assignments that you do might have a bit of a shell scripting. I would give you the basics of shell scripting, so don't worry about that. Other than that, you would not be using much code. So don't worry about programming, guys. You would definitely be able to do it. Storage and database. When we talk about this particular concept called storage, you will understand. I'll be explaining a lot about what is the difference between a storage and database. Anyways, please do keep this question for tomorrow's session. PaaS and SaaS, elaborate. Okay, platform as a service. See, again, you when you want the end application, okay, you don't want to involve in any of the underlying stack. Okay, you want to completely be free. You just want to have an application with you. You don't want to involve yourself in any of the underlying architectures. Then you go in for getting the final end product. That's what, like, any applications that you get. The best example would be the banking application. Okay, so they get that particular application from their provider, and then they just you are able to train your employees on navigating through the console. Okay, so you are training them. You are easily able to train them on the contents that they are going to be working on. Okay, so if you're going to be using a platform as a service, you definitely need people as this particular elastic beanstalk. You need people who are like developers. Okay, so you have your developers, and then they are going to be developing a code, and then you deploy the code in the elastic beanstalk, and then you build an application. So in this platform as a service, you have the application layer under your control. But in software as a service, the entire application is delivered to you as a bundle, as a package. Okay, so whatever the problem is, okay, so even if there is any kind of problem with the application, you are going to be contacting your provider. Whereas inside your platform as a service, if there is any problem with the platform, the provider will be responsible for troubleshooting it. If there is any problem with the application that you have deployed, then you are the one responsible for troubleshooting the application. That is the difference. I guess your question is answered, Mohini. Harshraj, they're saying that they're not able to attend yesterday's Kahoot quiz. Please help them. Yes, you will be having a quiz today. Okay, your Kahoot questionnaire is ready. Please, once this session is over, please go ahead and fill up your Kahoot questionnaire. Servers versus data centers. Okay, very good question, Mile. See, a server is a physical. See, if I'm going to be talking as a physical server is something where you have, you process something. It gives you a processing, a compute space. Okay, a physical server is something that you can touch and feel. Okay, a virtual server can do all the same processing that is done by a physical server. At the same time, it's not a physical resource, it is somewhere there in a virtual world, okay, in a remote location, and it is being managed by someone else for you. Okay, so that is your virtual server. A data center is a place. Now let's say the account that you have created, it has, let's say, Mile has created one account, and there are like five servers in that account, and then Ahmed has created one account, and there are 10 servers in that account. So those servers are going to be individual entities, okay, separate entities. That is a particular server, that is a particular computer, as simple as that. Okay, that is a particular machine, computer. Okay, that's all. Okay, but a data center is something that is going to be managing all the servers from all the accounts, not just the servers, the networking components, and the applications that are running on these servers, and every single thing that you have in your account. Okay, so this particular concept called identity and access management, also you will have users. Okay, so all these user management also has to be done somewhere, right? So all these things are done by the data center. That is different. Okay, server, again, the data centers will have servers which is doing this process. Okay, process of managing all these accounts. But then a server, when I say, it is going to be, the difference, when you talk about the difference between that, a data center is a centralized infrastructure that is going to be managing all the resources in all the accounts across the globe. Okay, or across that particular region at least. Okay, a server is something that you use within your personal account. I guess your question is answered. If you have only rupee card, definitely you will not have access to this free trial account. Please try to have get access to one of the cards, I mean credit or debit card from your relatives or someone, please. Or you can even share an account. If your friend has an AWS account, you can always share that account. What is this consolidate questions and post in community? I'm not able to get it. Okay, so you want to consolidate all these questions that comes in the live chat and you want us to post it. Anyways, I'll take this thing to the management team. Got activated. Okay. Yeah, if for some people the account gets activated immediately, guys. Even without waiting for minutes, the account gets activated. For some, it takes time. For some people, you get a call or a message verification that has to be done before your account gets active. All these things happen, guys. Assignments cannot be done in mobile phone, guys. Okay, you cannot see, you can attend the lecture using a mobile phone. Okay, but then you cannot do the hands-on in mobile phones. Okay, you definitely need a laptop if you want to work with the utilities. Yeah, you can use a Linux machine as well. What Rohit has asked, when we talk about deploying an application, what does that mean? Whether web application like a website or anything else, will you be giving real time? See, a website, will be, maybe I can show you, static web hosting. We'll talk about this tomorrow. AWS is the best example for infrastructure as a service. It provides you, the resources like servers. Tomorrow you'll be seeing, right? It provides you with EC2, the compute space, okay, and many more virtual resources. So AWS is the best example for, infrastructure as a service. It provides you with virtual infrastructure. You can do, guys, you can do with the Linux machine. Just use GUI. Yes, guys, I think I've answered most of the questions. Please post your questions in the community. Just give me a minute. I'll have a confirmation if we can close for the day. Okay, working with Windows machine and working with Linux machine. So please attend the session.
Ma'am, I think
And
you are not audible. I think you are not audible. You can. I think
yeah,
you are
yeah,
not
one
audible.
minute. Yeah, am I audible now, Hashraj?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Uh,
Good to.
okay, guys. So we'll be meeting again tomorrow, 5 o'clock, and we'll be discussing about compute and storage services, and we'll be completing 2 labs tomorrow. So make sure you attend the session. Okay, and make sure you check those links that are given in the description. If you want to view yesterday's video, you can do that, or if you want to have a look at the differences between AWS, Azure, and GCP, you can have a look at the description that is given there. Okay, the link in the description. And then you have the Kahoot questionnaire, which is available in the community. Please make sure you fill the Kahoot quiz. Okay, so let's end our session here, guys. See you all tomorrow, 5 o'clock. Yeah, bye, guys. Hashraj.